Dear colleagues, allow me to present to you a study on the topic of studying the dynamics of the implementation of orthographic norms in media discourse using corpus linguistics by the author team of Zoriana Kunch, Liliia Kharchuk, Olena Shevchenko, and Svitlana Shekhavtsova. The issue of codifying Ukrainian orthography is a pressing concern for both scholars and all speakers of the language. The current version of the Ukrainian orthography revises certain features from the 1928 orthography which are part of the Ukrainian orthographic tradition and whose restoration has a strong scientific foundation. The implementation of the new version of the orthography included a transitional period until May 2024, during which each institution independently decided how to apply the new Ukrainian orthographic rules. Therefore, it is essential to investigate the current trends in the implementation of orthographic norms that were revised in 2019 and analyze the dynamics of adapting these normative forms, particularly in the media space. The media can be considered markers that reflect the current state of the language system. The use of corpus technologies allows for the analysis of a large volume of linguistic material and the effective application of linguistic statistical analysis to both normative and non-normative variants of language units. This article proposes, for the first time, a methodology for analyzing the dynamics of orthographic norms implementation in the media space during the adaptation period. The study aims to identify patterns in the usage of the main normative forms that were revised in the 2019 orthography edition using a text corpus based on the proposed methodology. Achieving this goal involves the following tasks. Select using the general original enacted corpus of the Ukrainian language graph these corpus where specific changes from the 2019 orthography have been implemented or not implemented. Propose a methodology for targeted processing of restored materials using corpus mechanisms. Analyze the dynamics of the implementation of orthographic norms in the media discourse within the adaptation period, and conduct a statistical analysis of specific norms. Identify the potential for studying the impact of subjective factors on the introduction of changes to Ukrainian orthography. The object of the research is a lexeme whose spelling was altered according to the 2019 edition of the Ukrainian orthography. Identify in the context of their usage in the media space based on the general regional enacted corpus of the Ukrainian language, REC. The research is based on the card index created from the exhaustive selection of material for analysis from the Ukrainian media discourse 2023 corpus. The methodology of our research combines general theoretical methods with those of applied linguistics. Statistical and corpus methods, content analysis method, structural or descriptive method, and methods of generalization and induction. The main changes in the 2019 edition of the Ukrainian orthography compared to the 1993 orthography, which we have included in our research, can be observed in table. For this study, we extracted a selection of quotes from the Ukrainian media discourse 2023 subcorpus of the general regionally enacted corpus of the Ukrainian language. The selection includes quotes featuring both variants, old and new norms, of the most commonly used lexemes such as священник and священ, проект and project, проекция and проекция, hospice and hospice, Since the aim of this research is to propose a methodology for identifying patterns in the use of key normative forms that were changed in the 2019 spelling edition using a text corpus, we limit our analysis to just 3 spelling norms. This allows for a more comprehensive and detailed analysis of each change and enables us to more thoroughly characterize the patterns associated with the implementation of the new norm. To identify these words in all grammatical forms, we search each lexeme in concordance using the following query formula. Thus, the material for observing the dynamics of the implementation of the mandatory orthographic norms consists of. As can be seen from the statistical data, only the lexeme project shows a significant advantage over the outdated variant project. The weakest dynamic in usage is observed for the lexeme hospice, which, according to the recommendation of the Orthographic Commission, should be used instead of the older variant hospice. Since our sample covers the period from 2000, when the new normative variants had not yet been officially approved, we will narrow our research to the chronological boundaries defined in the research objectives and proceed to the second stage of our analysis. At this stage, we create queries requiring the use of the analyzed lexemes to observe patterns and trends in their usage within a chronological context. By setting the temporal boundaries for the usage of the specified lexemes according to the query formula, we determine the frequency of the usage of the aforementioned word specifically during the transitional period of the new orthographic rules. At this stage of observation, we operate with the following statistical data. This analysis allows us to examine the adaptation of new orthographic norms and their prevalence compared to previous standards during the transitional period. Thus, we observe that the frequency of use for each lemma and the subcorpus differs significantly both overall and from 2019 to 2023 during the transitional period to the new orthographic norm. The best dynamic is again seen with the lemma project, while the old spelling hospice significantly prevails over the new normative form hospice. Based on the comprehensive analysis of the chronology of the use of outdated and new orthographic variants of the words under analysis, we can conclude that overall there is a positive trend in the introduction of the analyzed orthographic changes into media space. However, different lexemes show varying degrees of implementation of the corresponding norm. We assume a significant influence on the choice of spelling variant from subjective factors, such as the editorial policy of publications, spelling habits, spelling experience of individual journalists, and etc. To investigate this hypothesis, our methodology includes the next stage of analysis. An important aspect of implementing orthographic changes during the adaptation period, as we have noted, was the subjective factor. It is crucial to observe which specific media outlets more consistently adopted the new spelling rules. Corpus technologies allow us to identify the frequency of use of specific individual spelling in particular media text. The dynamics of the implementation of spelling norms in individual media outlets are summarized and schematically depicted in tables and figures. The proposed research algorithm utilizing corpus linguistics to analyze dynamics of the introducing spelling norms in media discourse make it possible to comprehensively analyze, with the help of software products, various aspects of the implementation of spelling postulates introduced by the new edition of Ukrainian spelling. during the traditional 5-year period. Through corpus technologies, the study involved continuous material selection from the subcorpus Ukrainian media discourse 2020-23 and conducted a statistical analysis of the data, revealing a clear positive trend in the implementation and practical application of new Ukrainian spelling rules in the media. Based on a comprehensive analysis of the chronology of using outdated and new spelling variants of the words taken for analysis, we can state that the analyzed theme reveal a different degree of implementation of new spelling postulates. In particular, with the help of case technologies, it was found that the lexeme project demonstrates superiority over the outdated project version. The dynamics of using the hospice lexeme turned out to be the lowest since this word belongs to the under-used and has a number of synonymous correspondences. The analyzed material allowed to reveal that a subjective factor has a significant influence on the choice of the normative form. From among the media presented in the subcorpus, it is possible to clearly identify publications that in a gradual but clear progression introduce new spelling rules into use. The analysis of the individual variants' frequency in media text made it possible to single out progressive, in our opinion, mass media that don't neglect the introduction of new spelling rules and each time increase the use of variants that meet the recommendation of the new Ukrainian spelling of 2019. The proposed method of analysis can become the basis for conducting similar observation using corpus methods relative to other orthographic norms to identify the dynamics of the becoming permanent of the correct variant. It can also serve as a material for further linguistic research using a modern computer technology. Thank you for your attention.